Welcome to r/slash Offmychest, where OP goes undercover to destroy the lives of his coworkers. Our next Reddit post is from 200 Cats in a Trench Coat. I'm a 32-year-old guy, and I do not like my coworkers. It started almost immediately when I got the job. A very dude bro kind of environment. And while I personally find that stuff pretty obnoxious, I'm also a social chameleon and prefer to fly under the radar if possible. There's exactly one person at work who I'll actually engage in conversation, and that's because we happen to share a passion for tabletop games. But I will not mince words. I don't think this guy is a good person. He's fun to chat with about gaming stuff, but if the topic of gay marriage comes up, he'll say some of the most disgusting stuff I've ever heard. So I'm chatting with this dude about a recent expansion when he asked if I'd ever seen his girlfriend. I tell him, no, not as far as I'm aware. He then proceeds to show me, while we're at work, a naked picture of his girlfriend. I'm immediately put off by this, but doing my best not to make a scene, I just tell him not to show me stuff like this at work. He puts his phone away and tells me that if I'm interested in seeing more stuff like that, him and a couple other dudes have a group chat where they share pictures of their girlfriends, and that he could get me an invite to it if he'd like, but I'd have to give him a picture of my girlfriend first, so that, according to him, they would know that I wouldn't snitch. This is where my plan started. You see, Reddit, my girlfriend runs an OnlyFans, and I'm one of the few people who can show other people his girlfriend's nudes and not have it be a big deal. So I told my work buddy that I have to think about it, but I'd let him know. That night when I got home, I sat my girlfriend down and told her everything that happened, and then told her what I wanted to do. Basically, use some of her photos from her OnlyFans as a way to get access to this group chat, take a bunch of screenshots of it, and send it to the partners of these men. She was worried about it possibly damaging my career, but I basically told her that I was getting pretty effing sick of this place. So my days were pretty numbered there anyways. She had to think about it for a little bit, but by the end of the night, she said that she was down. I wish I could say that the evidence gathering section of this story was more exciting, but it really wasn't. With one nude as payment, I had access to the group chat. Now, there was a lot, just a ton of pictures and videos, some clearly taken from hidden cameras. Also surprising is that more than one person in that group was in a managerial position, and many of these men had partners who worked in the company. Of the 2 weeks that I spent compiling evidence, the hardest thing I had to do was look one of my female coworkers in the eyes, one of the sweetest girls I know, and pretend that I didn't know how much her fiancé had betrayed her trust, pretending everything was fine. But tonight's the night. I took a couple of days off in preparation for the fallout, but I have a good feeling that I may not have a job by the end of this weekend. I wish I could say that I was excited, but honestly, I don't know if I've ever felt more anxious in my life. I think I'm doing the right thing, but I also know that I'm about to make at least 6 enemies for life. Then OP posted an update. One of the photos contained a minor. Fallout was bad. Legal consequences have yet to be solidified, and most people, including me, were fired or asked to resign. I hope that gives some closure. I genuinely cannot fathom why anyone would want to risk their job, their relationship, and possibly even going to jail all over grainy photos of some girl in accounting that you barely talk to. What's the point? What's the appeal? The internet is drowning in adult content, most of which is free, and these people are risking everything for low-res photos. I just cannot fathom the logic here. Our next Reddit post is from Addendum Negative. I'm a 28-year-old woman and my boyfriend is 30. Tonight, we were drinking to celebrate Christmas. I was having a good time and we started wrapping presents. When I saw his phone, I saw pictures of a girl's butt. I confronted him and said that I deserved an explanation. He finally told me 2 days ago that he was texting a girl that I always had an off feeling about, and he got nudes from her. I started crying, obviously, and he kept asking for his keys, which I wouldn't hand over because he was very drunk. I told him to sleep in the bedroom and I'd sleep on the couch. He could leave tomorrow. He woke up randomly because I just went on with my night. He was looking for a bottle of alcohol in the fridge and ripped everything apart completely. Alcohol spilled everywhere, and he ripped trash out of the trash can. It was a disaster. He then tried cleaning the floor with Lysol disinfectant spray that you spray the air with. I tried redirecting him to a different cleaner because we have animals. Lysol is very toxic to animals. That's when it started. He grabbed me in a chokehold from behind and choked me till I almost blacked out. I immediately grabbed my phone and started recording just in case. He hit me in my face multiple times so hard that my ears began ringing. He then proceeded to choke me 2 more times and spit in my face. I know that he was blackout drunk because he began talking about how I died in Vietnam and all my friends did too, B-word, and how I put him in jail for 2 days. He apparently got me mixed up with his ex-girlfriend. I finally escaped and called my dad, then his sister. His sister instructed me to call the cops immediately and she'd start driving to me. I called the police and he was arrested after I showed them the 13-minute-long video of him beating me. As he got into the car, I had his sister on the phone. He screamed, "Call your dad and have him get you the F out of my house." The lease has both of our names on it. His sister got me from the police station after my statement and took me to the hospital. I'm okay and I have a minor head injury. I'm so scared now. I don't know what's next for me. I have no car. He controlled our finances, so my car wound up getting repossessed. I don't know how I'll get to my job now. Part of me is feeling bad that he's going to wake up in jail, completely unaware of what happened. His sister is convinced that he has severe psychosis going on that was triggered from the alcohol, which is no excuse. So, Merry Christmas, am I right? Also, in an edit, OP clarifies that she is absolutely breaking up with him, which is a relief. Oh geez, I just went to OP's post history and she just made a post 1 month ago in r/breast cancer about how her incision is almost completely healed. So she went straight from cancer to a wife beater. Our next Reddit post is from Dirty White Boy. I'm tired of dating a girl who's into daddy dom/little girl roleplay and I just couldn't take it seriously enough and now I laugh in disgust at the idea. I felt physically disgusted every time we did anything. I originally thought, oh, well, if it's just during intimate moments, I might be able to deal with it. No, this girl didn't just come out of her shell. She went balls to the wall. I'm talking pacifiers, stuffed animals, coloring books, sending stupid daddy dom little girl pictures that were both ungodly sexual or just plain stupid, calling me dada. We dated for 2 weeks and I took her on 3 dates: the mall, dinner at Rainforest Cafe, and the movies. When we went to the mall, she was so cringy walking around, gasping at everything that involved toys or stuff for little girls. Someone literally thought that she was mentally handicapped and said that I was a good big brother doing this. I honestly thought about breaking up with her, but I didn't want to hurt her, so I gave her another chance. I took her to Rainforest Cafe and she literally got scared over nothing and pretended to cry on my shoulder. At the movies, she wanted to see some little kid movie, and at that point, I just took her home and broke up. This roleplay is cringe, and if you're a guy into the daddy part, you're just a closet P-word. If you're a girl into it, just grow up. Hey look, I don't want to kink shame here, but going full 100% into this fetish from date number 1 is kinda bonkers. Our next Reddit post is from Superb Mortgage. I need to get this off my chest because it's been eating me alive. I'm a 36-year-old guy and my wife is 34, and we've been married for 8 years. I've always thought that we had a good thing going. Sure, no marriage is perfect, but we've always worked through things together, or so I thought. For context, I'm 5'6" and she's 5'5". My height has been a bit of a sore spot for me, but she's never made me feel like it mattered. In fact, she used to call me her perfect match because we were so close in height. But recently, everything's changed. Enter Ethan, her new coworker. He's 6'4", ridiculously attractive, and apparently the funniest, smartest, and most charming man on the planet. At least, that's what I gather from the way that my wife talks about him. At first, it didn't bother me. Everyone has work friends, right? But then, out of nowhere, she dropped a bombshell. One night, after a couple of glasses of wine, she told me, I need to be honest with you. I find Ethan really attractive. I can't stop thinking about him. But don't worry, I haven't acted on it. I was stunned. Before I could even process what she said, she added, I think maybe we should consider opening the marriage, just so I can explore these feelings. It might even bring us closer in the end. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told her flat out that I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't sign up for an open marriage. She got defensive, saying that I was being insecure and closed-minded, and accused me of letting my height complex cloud my judgment. She claimed that opening the marriage would allow her to explore her authentic self and that I should support her growth. Now, things are incredibly awkward between us. She stopped mentioning Ethan, but the tension is unbearable. I feel betrayed, honestly. Like, how am I supposed to compete with this guy? The fact that she even wants this makes me feel like I'm not enough for her anymore. Well, OP, a great way to open up the marriage is to serve her with divorce papers. Because cheating aside, why would you want to be with someone who disrespects you so fundamentally? You said you don't want her to cheat, and she's like, sounds like a short person problem. Meaning, what, tall people are okay with being cheated on, huh? Our next Reddit post is from On Account of the Truth. I'm a 42-year-old guy, and I've been sleeping with my 38-year-old female cousin for the last 7 months. 3 years ago, my wife and son passed away in an accident. My cousin, who lived with her mom, stayed with me for a few nights to help me out. During that time, nothing explicit happened, but we found ourselves snuggling while watching movies, and one night, we fell asleep on the couch together. We both sort of just laughed it off. About 8 months ago, my maternal aunt passed away, and I offered to help my cousin sell her mom's house for her to stay with me for a while. We quickly fell into the same routine and found a lot of joy with each other. One night, we had the right mix of edibles, wine, and sci-fi shows and ended up kissing and making out like teenagers, and slept in the same bed that night. The next day, we said that we shouldn't pursue this and just leave it alone. We had intercourse that night and almost every night since then. I have a vasectomy, and neither of us have a desire at our ages to have babies, and the only family alive other than us is her father, who hasn't been involved with her life since she was a teen. We're looking into actually moving and getting married. We do wonder if this secret will be an issue in the long run. And OP clarifies in the comments that each of their moms were sisters. Down in the comments, people are suggesting OP move to Australia, where apparently it's legal to marry your cousin. Our next Reddit post is from Deleted, and the title's kind of a doozy. My husband got our girlfriend pregnant without discussing it with me. My husband is 38 and I'm 30, and we're in an open marriage. We've been married for 5 years and open for the past 2 years. Currently, we have a long-term girlfriend who's 26 that we've both been with for just over a year. I'm also 30 weeks pregnant, and we're all so excited to welcome our daughter into the world soon. Our relationship and time in the bedroom has never been better, until the other day when our girlfriend announced her pregnancy to us. I was so surprised. I didn't know she had been seeing anyone else. After I congratulated her, I asked her who the father was, and she said, "Your husband." This was something that we never talked about at all, so I politely asked her to leave while I discussed this with my husband. Apparently, her seeing me pregnant and so excited convinced her that she was ready for motherhood herself, and she told my husband that she would be stopping her birth control. My husband never told this to me, and neither did our girlfriend. So the entire time that we've been together for the past few months, they've been having completely unprotected intercourse without my knowledge, which was not part of our arrangement. I'm still his wife, and she's just our girlfriend. I feel so betrayed by my husband to go behind my back like that. They don't understand why I'm mad. They think that I should be happy. I was aware that my husband has a breeding fetish. So do I. But this is much different than just role-playing situations, and they don't seem to understand that. I don't know how else to express to them how disrespectful this was to me. Also, we had a written agreement that birth control was to be used with our partners. We even discussed in that same written agreement that any pregnancies would not continue if the birth control failed. But this was intentional and non-consensual. All right, this reply from Frankly Spicy. Bringing a mid-20s fertile woman into a mix of a couple with a breeding fetish? What could go wrong? This reply from Shamrock. I hope you both have a child support fetish. Our next Reddit post is from Same Measurement. I passionately hugged a girl I hate. We met in high school because of mutual friends, and from the start, we didn't like each other much. When we got into college was when we really started hating each other. I don't really remember because I was drunk, but we got into a pretty heated argument that led us to curse each other out, and our friends dragged us away. We saw each other again at a club where we were both sober, and we ended up in another argument. We knew how to read the room, so we were standing to the side and we were again arguing. There were 4 more instances where we would either argue or ignore each other until yesterday. We were at a New Year's party, and at one point we ran into each other, and we were the only single ones, and we're also horny. We ended up just arguing about my data science final, and we were arguing about the right code input. Honestly, I feel like the only reason this happened was just because of how horny we were. We were in a secluded area of the house, and were in each other's faces. At one point, she kissed me, and I kissed her back. It's kind of obvious what happened from there. I'm honestly torn up a little because as much as I hate her, it was the best intercourse I've had in my life. But on the other hand, I don't want to talk to her at all. Ah, 2 tsunderes fall in love. How romantic. That was rSlash Off My Chest. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.